grew up in a very good life. Dad was a retired cop. Mom worked at home. She was home 24/7. I lived in a very good neighborhood. Wasn't infested with no gang life. It was right in the suburbs. I got everything I ever wanted. I had one friend when I was elementary school. I got made fun of a lot. I went through a hard time in elementary school. I was a pretty big, fat kid, you know. It was very tough getting teased, and there was only one friend. My friend, she stood by my side. I thought, oh, I need to be badass because I kept getting picked on so much. I wanted to be accepted by everybody. I wanted to be like feared, not and everything against everybody. I wanted to have respect. I started listening to music, actually. It was just so easily corrupted just by the music I was listening to and the things that I watched. I was listening to SPM, Immortal Technique, Mr. Capone, and all they would talk about is gang banging, drugs, women, and to me, it's being picked on as a little kid and being out of the crowd. I thought that was the life to go out. I used to think like, oh, these guys are, they're badass because, nobody messes with them. They got the life of a gang life, which is what I ended up going into. And I was 13 years old and I got caught with, my first 2 pounds of weed and a gun at school. I went to jail, old juvie, and like this is the life I want to have. Gang life is really rough. The things you got to do, some things you don't want to do, but you can't back down because you don't want them to look at you differently. You don't want them to say that you've done too much and now you can't handle it. And, they handle you. It's very stressful. Your closest friends in there are the ones that are going to turn on you. They're the ones who are going to turn against you. They're the ones who are going to have to take care of you. Your closest friend, might not see it coming, and he's right there. With the stuff from the gang life, I didn't talk about that. It turned me to use drugs even more, going on to smoking heroin to numb the pain, but it doesn't numb it enough because you're only high for so long. You can only nod off and sleep for so long until it comes back. Attempt suicide twice. A couple months now selling drugs, and I'm using them. I'm smoking a bunch of heroin almost every day, snorting so much coke. I'm using both of them. Anything I could get my hands on, I was using it all, selling it all the people that I cared about. I was just so cold-hearted from what the gang gave me. It made me do that. I was just so violent to everybody that I loved. Now I'm on probation. Now I'm probably gonna get a violation. So I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna go to prison. But my probation officer, luckily at the time, just told me, go to rehab. So we checked myself into rehab at Desert Hope. But at that time, I still wasn't ready.
Hi, my name is Jim Goins. I'm the clinical director for Desert Hope in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm really very proud and very grateful to work with Judith Pinkerton and what she brings to us here at Desert Hope, the music therapy that she provides on a very large scale. We are a 148-bed facility here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and her music therapy program allows us to divide up our groups into 15 to 30 people groups. One of the things I like the best about her music therapy approach is that it really strives to reach young adults and older adults alike in ways that help unlock certain areas for them that they haven't been able to navigate in the past. They find common ground with others. They're able to emotionally learn how to process events and traumas that have happened to them in their life through the use of music and learning skills to emotionally process and learn how to regulate all of the feelings and emotions that come up through those experiences in ways that they can cope in a healthy way and learn how to prevent the relapse that typically occurs in the past without those skills.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Pearson. I'm a clinician here at Desert Hope Treatment Center. I had the pleasure of working with Rocko twice in treatment. The first time was approximately 5 or 6 months ago, in which Rocko came to us and had the same issues he did the second time around, but wasn't as open to accessing the tools and resources that we had available to him. He participated, went to some of the classes, but didn't really take anything too seriously. He left treatment and unfortunately had a relapse, almost ended up in prison, and was granted the opportunity to come back to us a couple months ago. However, this time around for Rocko, we saw a completely different side of him. He was motivated and open to going to all of his classes, and not only going, but taking in anything we had to give to him. I saw the change when Rocko really started diving into music therapy.
Just basically, you know, one day, you know, probably about 3.5 weeks in, Judith, you know, I'm here with her again. I go up to her, I look her straight in the eye, and I tell her that, hey, I have a song for you. I wrote down the song Dance with the Devil with the Immortal Technique, and we're gonna hear it today. And she looked at me and she said, okay.
So Rocko came to process group into individual with me shortly after a music therapy session and said that the music had guided him to trauma and to past repressed memories that he didn't even know existed.
When she played it, she asked me, you know, how does that make you feel?
I once knew a nigga whose real name was William. His primary concern was making $1 million, being the illest hustler that the world ever seen. He used to fuck movie stars and sniff coke in his dreams. A corrupted young mind at the age of 13. Nigga never had a father and his mom was a fiend. She put the pipe down, but for every year she was sober. Her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks, looking for hit-and-run prospects. He was fascinated by material objects, but he understood money never bought respect. He built a reputation cause he could hustle and steal, but got locked once and didn't hesitate to squeal. So
because I didn't partake that night, they greenlighted me.
Securities and other people. He fiended for props like addicts with pipes and needles, and so he felt he had to prove to everyone he was evil.
I'm about 2 years in, and my best friend, you know, she was hanging out with us too, so obviously she was getting corrupted by them and me because I started bringing her around. And, you know, within time, she ended up coming in and becoming a mule for the drug trafficking. One day, I have someone that comes and tells me that, you know, hey, your friend, she slept with a rival gang member, and what they were talking about, what we had to do was that she couldn't be in the gang no more. She had to get out. There's only one way in this gang. It's blood in, blood out. While we're all kicking it, he tells me like that she's got, like, you know, she's out, she's got to get handled. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this is my best friend I grew up with. I have a closer relationship with her than what these guys had. And it left me with such a hard decision because it's do or die. And but because she was my best friend, I walked out. I couldn't do it. Walked out, and I know I hear them upstairs. You know, she's screaming.
Hello, my name is Jill. I'm a therapist here at Desert Hope Treatment Facility, and I work with helping those that are battling the disease of addiction. And I'm here to let everyone know that music is a great capacity to allow patients to move and shift in direction to where they didn't think was possible. Part of that is bringing up uncomfortability. And when a patient begins to move through uncomfortability, we begin to see trauma be relieved. We begin to see anxiety and depression symptomology decrease, and it allows a person to see that at the end of the day, I can make it. And so having music therapy part of our programming is definitely an asset to those patients who are willing to go there to unnerve what has kept them in the deep darkness of their addiction throughout their life.
She ended up playing it, and I'm not a very emotional person. I don't really cry in front of anybody. I keep everything in, and for the first time I broke down in front of a group of men. It was amazing to get it out. I cried it out, and it was tough, but I got it out. Probably the first time I ever really cried since crying back in elementary school, getting picked on before everything all started.
And as that came up, he was able to cope with that with the guided music meditation playlist that he had developed a couple prior weeks.
Judith offers me, you know, a one-on-one session, the music that I was playing on what can influence us to do, to use, trigger us, make us happy, sad, energetic, and you know, Judith always have us do all kinds of different playlists, make a playlist for her to bring in about what soothes us, you know, US or E. It's funny because she puts some unsettling music in there to piss you off, and then after, let's say, 3 tracks, it goes on to something soothing. So now you're going through like an emotional roller coaster, and then at the end it goes to like an energetic, you know, happy, you know. Just it was very, very great to realize what music therapy can actually bring, because you know, I was really concentrating on being sober at the time. You know, and the last time I was in Desert Hope, I didn't address the mental problems I had from it, you know, the mental trauma. So I didn't get on no medication this time around. I told my psychiatrist, told my therapist, they put me on, you know, medication, you know, of course, mood stabilizers, anxiety. Every day I walk in here around Desert Hope, people are telling me I have a brighter face, I look happier. They tell me that I'm approachable now. I never used to be approachable, I guess, that everybody used to tell me that. Now I walk around, you know, with a different demeanor. And I didn't realize how strong music therapy can actually help a recovery. Music, it's a great part of recovery. It's very needed. You can be going so good in your recovery, and then you hear music, and all of a sudden it triggers you. They're talking about drugs, and most people don't think, oh, it's just music. You know, it's just music. You know, but no, it's talking about that can trigger you, influence you. Of course, there's some great beats I would love to listen to before, but the words that go with the beat just don't fly with my recovery no more. Very, very thankful I completed my 45-day program here, and I'm grateful that this staff actually noticed a difference in me, and a complete 180 from the last time I was here. where I'm going to be headed from here on out. You know, of course, going to my meetings, and I was honored to do this for Judith as well. I'm glad that she asked me, and I'm glad to definitely tell the story anytime. And thank you, Judith.